This is App Talks, where we talk about apps, obviously, but we also talk with the people who make apps amazing. And this is the story when I think about Flo, because yes, it is the top app of its kind for female health and all the questions that women have about themselves, but how they get to that app, why they stay in that app, part of that is up to you, Binh Dang, because you are head of ASO at Flo. I won't say it's all your credit, but I have to get there. I have to want to download it. I have to want to stay with it. So it's down to science, but also art. You've been in so many different countries. I was reading, Germany, France, UK. You've lived and worked across them all. When I looked at that, I thought, oh, what about, where privacy is in those countries? I mean, it used to be they would say things about Germany being the most restrictive and the most privacy-centric. It's like, if you can do it there, you can do it anywhere. How does that feel to bring all of these approaches to privacy into what you do as head of ASO?
I think when it comes down to it, it's down to what the users are looking for. We're here to try to create value, add value, build a community, and we won't be able to do that ever if the community, the members of a community, cannot find the product, the brand behind the community to be trustworthy. So we need to build trust, but not by just saying, hey, trust me, or just by saying, hey, we have this feature, that feature, AI, predictive, and so on and so forth. We need to basically live and embody what we say when we say privacy, when we say data protection. We need to actually empower the users, give them the choice to take away the data, right? To give them the option to deny Flo as a brand the ability to track them, to store the data, and then sell data to third parties and so on and so forth. So that's basically the context behind anonymous mode. So basically through this feature, we empower users by basically giving them the ability to tap on a button and remove all of the data, all of the identifiable kind of data that can be linked to their health data.
Well, anonymous mode is fascinating. I mean, it shows, first of all, you would say, it's not that sexy. No, it's on the cover of Time, right? There's coverage everywhere about it. And what it is it's a feature. It's not just like toggling. It's a real thing. So your job, when I think of head of ASO, is to educate, but to educate in a bit of an edgy way, because you don't have that much space in the App Store to get this across. So how did you do that? What did you do to make people understand how compelling this really is? Women, this resonates with women.
Yeah, so you said it correctly. The App Store and the Play Store offers, and especially on the mobile devices, it offers a very small real estate to actually, tell a complete, comprehensive story, especially when it comes to the technology behind privacy, which is not simulated privacy, but it's actually true privacy. We, at Flo, if tomorrow a government body asks Flo to send over a set of data from, linked to a certain kind of user group, and that group of users have activated anonymous mode, it won't be possible for Flo to even do that, because we don't track the data. The moment users tap on that button, all of the, like I said earlier, the identifiable data is removed, detached from the account, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of sort of complex technologies behind the scene, but ASO is basically marketing. So the way marketing works is the simpler it is, the easier for the users to kind of understand, because they spend a fraction of a second, of a moment, to understand what's in it for them. And they need to be able to realize quickly what's in it for them, so they can be convinced enough to download and use the app, and so on and so forth, and join the community. So the trick of the trade is to try to cut through all of the complexities behind the technologies, and try to see, okay, again, what's in it for them? What's the why behind privacy? Is it really the technologies, or all of the protocols, quantum computer, and so on and so forth? Is it all of the rocket science that matters?
But you didn't bring that into the App Store. They went, couldn't. What did you bring it down to? I mean, it's true, it's complex, but you have to keep it simple. What do you think was the wouldn't say the trigger, but everything happens for a reason. There's something that moves the user, the prospective user, the person looking at it to say, yes, I want this. What do you think it was? What is the trick or the trigger that you came up with in the App Store?
Fear.
Fear.
Yeah. So
interesting.
yes, or the remedy to fear, the solution to take away their fear and give them the sense of confidence. So the context behind this is 3 years ago, in the U.S., Roe v. Wade was overturned. So and by that time, like Flo had already been developing anonymous mode, but right after that event, we decided to kind of fast track the launch of the feature, and we went to market as fast as possible. And then we worked with media outlets, for example, TechCrunch, Forbes, and The Verge, and so on and so forth, just to raise awareness. On the one hand, of course, like it's PR, it's marketing, but on the other hand, it's like we are telling people you have a choice. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to have the fear. You can be a part of this Flo community, and protect your privacy, protect your data. We have this option. We have the option so powerful. We don't even have the ability to gather your data.
Yeah.
You have the power now. So it's basically
fear and empowerment. That's a great combination, and making that very clear. I mean, ASO. People even say in the future, who knows, maybe in your career, you'll have chief ASO officers, because what you show, thinking about it, that's a thought, because what you show in the App Store has to reflect the other marketing and has to reflect also the product. So it's not just making certain you look good there. It's the complete message everywhere. That's not easy with such a complex and also very exciting feature. Maybe you can share a little bit about how you make certain that ASO is consistent, brand consistent, but also compelling across all of those different ways I can interact with you and the app.
Yeah, one more time, it's all about the users. It's not about the technology. It's not like we don't want to, we used to try this in the past, but recently we've been spending some time to rethink the messaging around anonymous mode. At the end of the day, it's not about the mode. It's not about the feature. It's not about what the app does. It's about the benefit. It's about the users. Yes, it's the choice. You have the option. You have the power to press on the big red button to erase everything. It's now in your hand. That's it. So whatever we do, we try to think about the community. What are they looking for? Are they looking for, again, like, is it privacy that matters? Or is it, peace of mind? Nobody will be able to track me as soon as I tap on that big red button. That's going to be translated.
Was there testing to find the color? Because red, I think, was the one, right? You didn't have to do too much A/B testing with that one, did you? Or did you?
No, not yet.
Okay. Because I met Dimitri the other day. He was also presenting this. He was talking about, I would say, not an obsession. I would say in a good way, testing everything. He was talking about colors. He's talking about, what is it, 300 consecutive tests you have at any one time. So it's a wonder you're here and awake because you've got a lot of work over there. What about this testing and how that flows, well, pun intended, I guess, flows back into the product, because that impacts the ASO. That's ever evolving. That's what I like about your company, ever evolving.
Well, there could be a million things. I could be talking about testing right now, but for the specific context of ASO, I would say, again, like every step of the way, we start with the why, and like we can't come up with the why because it's not about us, it's about the community. So we try to, for example, send surveys inside of the app, or we can, run some interviews or questionnaires, sort of research to collect feedback, collect ideas from the users, ask them like what are you looking for? What makes you download or not download the app? And then we try to find ways using data to interpret that into a falsifiable hypothesis, and then we test. And for every small raw idea we can extract from any particular single individual user, we can have so many different ways to interpret that into so many different hypotheses. That's actually what fuels our testing process. It's so fast, it's so rapid, and it's so sort of straight to the point because we're not chasing after vanity metrics. We're chasing after what the users are specifically looking for. For example, if they have a certain kind of fear, we give them confidence. If they have a certain kind of phasmophobia, they don't know what they don't know about their symptoms, about their body, about their menstrual health, we give them the knowledge. We can predict, or we can give you like trends from the past. We can give you tomorrow, this symptom is gonna show some signs and so forth. Be aware of that and be ready to consider, like if you see serious heavy symptoms, maybe consider seeking medical help. Yeah. So we weave all of that into just a long backlog of hypotheses so we can test over time.
So what did you focus on? Was it in terms of creatives and formats and videos and approaches? I mean, I could imagine not knowing this because I am not a user of your app. I'm different story. I just don't need it at this point. But the point I want to make was you have a community. So something like a Reddit, I would imagine, would work really well. But maybe there are different approaches to acquire users or to keep the community informed that I'm not thinking about, that you have been innovating at Flo and through ASO. Is there something you could share there?
Yeah, definitely. We have ideas. We have prototypes. I can name a couple already. They're still in early stages. But for example, we are experimenting the app review section inside of the App Store and Play Store, because it's not only just a place for new audience to learn what existing users have to say about the app. It's also a marketing channel.
Yes.
Yeah, they go there, they leave a review. We can reply to that review and educate the users better. Maybe they made a mistake. They didn't learn enough about the app, so they are unhappy. They complain about it. They leave a 1 or 2 star review about the app. But maybe that's just a misunderstanding. Maybe they didn't learn enough, so we can send somebody not from the customer support team, but maybe the product team, the marketing team, to go there and sort of educate them a bit and explain. Okay, so what went wrong? These are the steps you can follow to improve your experience. Try again. Then we have data to suggest that, like for at least on Google Play or Android, the more we have this kind of warm, helpful, and sort of inclusive and conversational kind of conversations or replies with the users, the more users are willing to come back, change their rating, try the app one more time, and adjust their reviews from something previously negative to something now more positive.
Makes perfect sense, because you've listened to me and you've told me, well, it's a problem, but here's the way you approach it, or it's a problem, we're going to take care of it. Either way, you listened. I think that's what matters the most.
Absolutely.
And with regards to keeping that, as you said yourself, it's a marketing channel. What other marketing channels do you feel marketers are not making the most of that you've been either experimenting with or expanding? Because that's the thing about Flo. It is not just evolving as an app and a company, but I mean, it's a top app. It doesn't get there overnight. It was 10 years of learnings. And, share some of those learnings, because I'm not certain that marketers are using all the channels they have at their disposal.
I would say offline.
Offline?
Yeah, run a stunt offline. Tell people, like just a small group of people, about the app. Ask them what they like about the App Store assets, what they like about the app after downloading. Like why do they feel they want to or not want to download the app? They tell you to your face. And
so user surveys or something more sophisticated?
It's actually less sophisticated. It's like going to a library, going to a bar, make some new friends.
Oh, okay.
Use your own phone.
Okay.
And sell the app and ask them to use their phones to download it.
Oh, I see.
So they'll give you real advice.
A bit of your own research. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be seeing you a lot around at the event today. You'll be out there asking, right?
Hopefully.
Doing your job.
Yes,
okay.
Both learning and selling the apps. I'm just going to keep repeating my call to action. Download Flo now.
Okay.
And
well, that's convincing.
And explore the anonymous mode and protect your own data. Yeah. But jokes aside, I could already name, like, this is actually not an idea. We have tried this recently, about a month ago, with a campaign called International Women's Day. We literally went, like our team, or a small team within the marketing department, they went on the streets of London to connect with the community offline, in person. Yeah, and it worked pretty well. I can't really name any specific quantitative results, but it worked pretty well. It's visible.
Yeah,
the performance
it speaks
improvement.
also for the effort, for your own dedication. So again, when I see you doing it, as we say in the States, when I see you eating your own dog food, then I'm going to believe you, and you're out there and you're doing that. I want to get to that in ASO because it is about advocacy. And I remember interviewing a woman, she's the founder of Mindful Mamas, which is also another woman's app. And it was a fascinating case study because it was all about the engagement in the community. And sometimes the community would take on. It was like if she wouldn't get to a comment quickly enough or whatever, the community was there. The community had her back. How's it working out with Flo? Because if you're working that hard through reviews and elsewhere, at the end of the day, you probably have a wider marketing team than you think.
Absolutely, yes, it's working out very well. We have sort of word of mouth and secondhand sort of marketers, not working for Flo, but basically they work for their friends and family. Yeah, because Flo is basically a tool to help them take control of their intimate or reproductive health. So if they help spread the word about Flo, they help their friends, their sisters, their wives, their partner, their family, also do the same, take control of their health.
And it tells us something, again, because again, Dimitri was at an event, he was speaking a paddle event last night. It is about that. Word of mouth is very important to him. I mean, you're doing really, really well as an app and it's just off the charts, but it's something as basic as that, and not to forget something like that. So we asked him, what is the secret here? And it was things like that, which tell us a lot about marketing. What does that tell you about the tone of ASO? How is understanding your mission is to inform, but also to inspire, basically? How has that changed and how is that reflected in your approach to ASO?
We avoid doing anything fancy. So on the macro level of marketing, we go after where the community is, where the users are. So we try to be as down to earth, as grounded as possible, because we don't try to, apply rocket science or try to go to the moon. We try to go after moms, girlfriends, and women in general, average Jane Doe, and so on and so forth. So in ASO, it's exactly the same. It's very grounded. We go straight to what you are looking for. We typically try to avoid showcasing the features. We don't say, this is a period tracker or a trying to conceive kind of tool or a pregnancy tracker. We say, look, if you want to track your period in order to manage your days, to plan your days better, then this is a tool for you to plan your days around your period. Or this is a tool for you to know when you have the best chance to conceive a baby, and so on and so forth. So again, it's more the users take the control. It's not a feature, and so on and so forth. So we implement all of that into the ASO. It's nothing fancy. Let's
talk about privacy as a feature and as something that's improved performance, because I've had so many interviews where people are like, oh, life is so hard. We don't have data. And at the beginning it was we were all doomed, and now it's like, oh, we're all suffering and desperate. So there's this feeling that privacy works against performance, but you've shown the opposite.
Yeah, I would like to debunk this myth. They don't.
Okay.
There doesn't have to be an either or kind of logic here. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. There can be an and between privacy and performance. So the magic of the community that trust Flo is when we give them the power, they give back some of their power. When we give them the power to protect their anonymity, when they come into the app, we have the power to, because they now trust us a little bit better, we have the power to ask them where they're coming from, source of traffic, user acquisition traffic. Then it can help us without using any fancy or privacy violating technologies to track users. We know exactly where the traffic is coming from. So that helps in analytics, powered by the very community we are powering.
And of course, when you give back, then I will give a bit more. It's like, yes, I understand what you're doing here. I'll share it. I'll share it with other friends because I can feel confident it's not going to be one of those creepy, weird apps that's going to take all the data and run. So it serves, it goes around, comes around. So I'd like to come around to where we are right now. You know, it's 2025, looking ahead. It's about building trust. And it's not going to get easier, and it's certainly going to be a loud place out there. This was also one of the questions to Dimitri. So I'll ask you as well. You know, it's harder to get heard out there. A tip, some advice, what you need to do, because it's a loud, crowded place. You know, app stores, we know about that. But at the same time, it's an opportunity. There might be a blue ocean we're not thinking about. 2025, where do you see the opportunity?
Honesty.
Honesty.
Try to be honest.
Okay.
Why almost all of the
enjoy
apps.
continuing with you. I'll continue to talk to you even after the interview if that's your attitude, because that's rare. That's seldom. I've never heard an answer like that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, but I'm not trying to PR here or selling anything. It's true within Flo. We don't BS because we're just lying to ourselves. If we keep following,
Well, they'll find out. You know,
Yeah.
women are smart.
Ultimately, yes, absolutely. So what we try to do is we try to look at the data. We try to avoid starting with the what, the where, and the when. We try to start with the why and the who.
The why.
We look at the numbers. We don't care what we plan to do next. We look at the numbers. We see trends. We allow the trends to give us the direction. And then we ask the user's opinion, and then we translate all of that into marketing and especially ASO changes and so on and so forth.
So you just joined recently, so I'm amazed at how you have sort of internalized this. What are you bringing? What's your contribution? What are you most excited about? Because it's a well-evolved company. I don't want to say the pressure's on you, Binh, but I mean, you know, come on, it's a tough act to follow or fit in. What is your contribution?
So I'd like to think that my superpower is RDI, research, development, and innovation. So I've been here for just barely 3 months, but I believe I learn fast. So that's research.
Okay.
I'm able to systemize a lot of different things into what's a little bit easier for at least the ASO team to adopt with a step-by-step cohesive and comprehensive process. So it's more data-driven, it's more accurate, more effective, and it's more efficient as well. And innovation is basically finding, combing through or cutting through all of the noise and find the one small detail that can make all the difference in the world. And then we do something different. Something you mentioned earlier, blue ocean strategy. I'm also trying to do something like this, trying to do something very different to a point of being opposite of the trends of the market. I would say whatever 99% of our competitors are doing, we are doing something different to a point of being opposite, where we can, one, instantly stand out and catch attention, and two, we show actually we do care, unlike other brands and so on and so forth. We, like I said earlier, honesty. We honestly care to a point of denying ourselves the ability to track your data. You have the anonymity and so on and so forth. So we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. And I think that's what I'm adding to the table as well. Like not just talking about ASO, not just doing research and coming up with ideas and then adding like an infinitely long backlog of ideas and hypotheses to test, but also hitting the ground running with concrete results.
Well, you gave some great ideas. I mean, it was about research, real online, offline, being out there with the community, checking out the reviews and answering those. That's an easy one. That's not heavy lifting. So there's a lot to explore. I will be very, very interested in watching you in this position, Binh. I think you're going to bring some interesting changes, because if you're doing what 90% are doing and you're finding that 10% thing that they're not doing, then that's the one to watch. So I'll be watching you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.